Deputy U.S. Attorney General Sally Yates used the DNC to accuse President Trump of corruption despite being wrapped up in the FISA scandal herself. Our next guest is calling out Yates' hypocrisy. Joining me now, former Deputy Assistant Attorney General in the DOJ Criminal Division, John Malcolm. John, thanks so much for being here. You know, wasn't Yates caught up in weaponizing the DOJ herself?
Why, yes. I've actually known Sally Yates a very long time. We started in the U.S. Attorney's Office in Atlanta right about the same time. We were colleagues for 7 years, and that was, a bit rich. I like Sally Yates. But there is no question that is now what is coming out is that the Justice Department and the intelligence community and the world's most powerful law enforcement agency, the FBI, appear to have been weaponized to go after a political opponent, specifically Donald Trump and members of the Trump campaign. And they did it, by falsifying information to the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Court in order to obtain warrants to wiretap campaign workers. So it's, pretty hypocritical, I think, for her to say that. Whether it happened with her knowledge or not, I can't say, but it certainly happened under her watch.
John, Yates went all in. Yates went all in on attacking the travel ban last night. You say that was a bad strategy. Why?
Well, I don't know there was so much was a bad strategy. She referred to it as shameful and unlawful. Well, it turns out that the Supreme Court disagreed with her and upheld the constitutionality of the travel ban. And her job actually as, at the time, acting attorney general, if she thinks that a policy or a law is defensible, it is her job to defend it. And if she is offended by a policy or thinks it is a shameful policy, she is supposed to resign. But she cannot and should not have, but what she tried to do was to just say, nope, we're not going to do it. Another thing that she said, which she said that public servants are supposed to serve the public and protect the Constitution. And that is certainly true. But public servants don't do that by trying to undermine the lawful actions of a president who was elected by the people.
John, there was also this. The Senate Intel Committee finding FBI gave unjustified credence to the Steele dossier and that Russia took advantage of President Trump's transition team. Even though it was a bipartisan report, obviously each side is taking what they want from it. What was your big takeaway?
Well, there were several. I mean, one was that the FBI did not verify any of the salacious or non-salacious information in the so-called Steele dossier. That has been out there for a while. But it is certainly true that the Russians did interfere with the election, that they did try to take advantage of the political naivete of certain newcomers to the Trump campaign. And Paul Manafort was not exactly covered in glory. He was dealing with a guy who was a Russian intelligence operative named Konstantin Kilimnik. He'd been his business partner for years. He was doing work on behalf of a Russian oligarch named Oleg Deripaska and others. And that was a point of real vulnerability very high up in the Trump campaign. So there was something to take away for everybody. And let's hope we don't have a repeat of this in 2020 and in elections beyond.
We have the Mueller report. We have the Senate report. Mr. Durham's working hard there in Groton, Connecticut, trying to come up with something. See what he has and if any charges flow from what he finds.